Most people believe aging begins with wrinkles, slower movement, or chronic illness. But in reality, the process often starts much earlier and much deeper inside the body. It begins silently, invisibly, in the way we sit, stand, breathe, and carry ourselves through the day. Long before pain appears, long before a diagnosis is ever made, the body is already adapting to a constant, unnoticed pressure: gravity. Modern life has quietly reshaped the human posture. Hours spent sitting, staring at screens, leaning forward, and compressing the spine have become normal. So normal that few people ever question the cost. Yet the human body was never designed for prolonged stillness. It evolved to move, to stand upright with balance, to distribute weight evenly through the skeletal system, and to use the spine as a dynamic, living structure rather than a rigid pillar. When posture deteriorates, the body doesn't simply look worse. It begins to reorganize itself around dysfunction. The spine loses its natural curves. Muscles that were meant to stabilize become inactive, while others overwork to compensate. Breathing becomes shallow. Circulation slows. Over time, this subtle collapse creates a chain reaction that affects energy levels, mood, organ function, and even the way the nervous system responds to stress. What makes this process especially dangerous is how quietly it unfolds. There is no alarm when the head shifts a few centimeters forward. No warning when the shoulders round or the pelvis tilts. Each change seems insignificant on its own, but together, they gradually pull the body out of alignment with gravity. And that misalignment accelerates physical decline in ways most people never connect to posture. This raises a question that few ever ask. What if aging is not only a matter of time, but also a matter of alignment? What if the way you hold your body each day is either reinforcing vitality or slowly draining it? The answer lies not in extreme workouts or complicated routines, but in understanding how the body relates to gravity and how small, precise adjustments can restore balance where modern life has quietly taken it away. Human physiology was shaped over millions of years in an environment that demanded movement. Our ancestors walked long distances, climbed, squatted, carried loads, and rested on the ground. The spine evolved as a flexible, adaptive structure, capable of absorbing shock, distributing weight, and protecting the nervous system while allowing freedom of motion. Sitting for long, uninterrupted hours was never part of that design. Today, however, prolonged sitting has become the dominant posture of daily life. Work, transportation, entertainment, and even social interaction increasingly take place in a seated position. As hours pass, the body gradually collapses into itself. The head drifts forward, increasing the load on the cervical spine. The upper back rounds, restricting rib movement and limiting full breaths. The pelvis tilts, placing constant pressure on the lumbar discs. What begins as a comfortable position slowly turns into a sustained state of mechanical stress. This mismatch between biology and lifestyle creates what can only be described as a posture crisis. Muscles that once supported upright alignment grow weak and unresponsive, while others remain chronically tense in an attempt to hold the body together. The result is not just back or neck pain, but a systemic strain that affects circulation, digestion, and nervous system regulation. Over time, the body learns this collapsed posture as its new default, reinforcing the problem even when we stand or walk. The consequences extend far beyond the spine itself. Compressed posture reduces lung capacity, limiting oxygen intake and subtly increasing fatigue. It alters blood flow, making it harder for nutrients and oxygen to reach tissues efficiently. Perhaps most overlooked, it places the nervous system in a constant state of low-level stress, as the body works harder to maintain balance and stability against gravity. Children and young adults are now showing postural patterns that were once associated with aging populations. This is not a coincidence, but a reflection of how early and how consistently modern habits shape the body. Without conscious intervention, posture does not correct itself. It adapts, locks in, and becomes the physical foundation upon which future health or decline is built. To understand why posture has such a profound effect on health and aging, it is essential to understand gravity. Gravity is not an occasional force acting on the body. It is a constant one. Every second of every day, it pulls downward on bones, joints, organs, and connective tissue. When the body is properly aligned, this force is distributed efficiently through the skeletal system. The spine functions like a living spring, absorbing load, rebounding, and maintaining space between its segments. Problems arise when alignment is lost. Even small deviations, such as the head drifting forward or the shoulders rounding, dramatically increase the load placed on specific spinal segments. A head that weighs around 5 kilograms in neutral alignment can place several times that load on the neck when it moves forward. Over time, this uneven pressure compresses intervertebral discs, limits fluid exchange, and accelerates structural wear. The spine depends on movement and decompression to stay healthy. Intervertebral discs do not have their own blood supply. They rely on changes in pressure to absorb nutrients and expel waste. When posture remains collapsed for long periods, this pumping mechanism is impaired. Discs gradually lose hydration, elasticity decreases, and the spine becomes more vulnerable to degeneration and injury. Evidence of gravity's role becomes especially clear in environments where its effects are reduced. In microgravity conditions, such as spaceflight, the spine experiences far less compression. Astronauts often return to Earth slightly taller, not because their bones grow, but because the spine has temporarily decompressed and regained space between its segments. This phenomenon highlights an important principle. Spinal compression is not fixed. It is responsive to how force is applied. On Earth, gravity cannot be removed, but the body's relationship with it can be changed. Proper alignment allows the spine to resist compression through balance rather than tension. When posture supports natural curves and evenly distributes load, gravity becomes a stabilizing force instead of a degenerative one. In this way, posture is not merely about standing straight. It is about restoring the body's capacity to work with gravity rather than constantly struggling against it. Long before modern biomechanics and medical imaging, ancient cultures arrived at similar conclusions through careful observation of the human body. Across civilizations, the spine was never viewed as a simple stack of bones. It was understood as a central axis, one that connected structure, vitality, and consciousness. While the language differed, the underlying insight was remarkably consistent. In the yogic traditions of India, the spine was seen as the central channel through which life energy flows. Practices were designed not to force flexibility, but to restore length, balance, and ease along this vertical axis. Posture was treated as a daily discipline, a way of keeping the body receptive rather than compressed. In classical Chinese medicine, the spinal column was associated with the governing vessel, a pathway believed to influence organ function, circulation, and overall resilience. Alignment was thought to allow internal systems to communicate efficiently without obstruction. Martial arts and contemplative traditions placed similar emphasis on upright posture. A balanced spine was considered essential not only for physical power, but for mental clarity and emotional stability. Practitioners learned that when the body was stacked correctly, effort decreased, breathing deepened, movement became more economical, strength emerged from structure rather than strain. What is striking is that these traditions did not promote rigid stiffness. An aligned spine was described as both upright and relaxed, stable yet responsive. This understanding mirrors modern insights into efficient posture, where balance, not muscular force, carries the body. The wisdom of these ancient systems suggests that spinal health is not a matter of occasional correction, but of maintaining an ongoing relationship with gravity, awareness, and movement. In this sense, posture becomes more than a physical habit. It becomes a foundation for long-term vitality and inner stability. Restoring healthy posture does not require forcing the body into unnatural positions or committing to long, exhausting routines. In fact, the most effective changes are often the simplest ones, those that work with the body's natural design rather than against it. At the core of this approach is a brief but intentional reset that reestablishes the body's vertical alignment and reminds the nervous system how balanced posture actually feels. Begin by standing with your feet about hip-width apart, allowing your weight to settle evenly through the soles. Rather than gripping the ground, let your feet rest, sensing the subtle support beneath you. Gently release any unnecessary tension in the jaw, neck, and shoulders, areas that commonly hold stress and pull the upper body forward. This release is not passive. It creates space for alignment to emerge naturally. Next, imagine your spine lengthening upward, as if each vertebra were stacking effortlessly on top of the next. This is not a forceful stretch. There is no pushing or straining. Instead, allow a sense of upward expansion through the crown of the head while the tailbone remains heavy and grounded. At the same time, lightly engage the deep muscles of the abdomen, creating internal support without stiffness. As you take a slow, calm breath, notice the subtle feeling of space returning to the body. The ribcage lifts without flaring, the chest opens without tension, and the head balances more easily over the spine. Hold this state for just a few seconds, long enough for the nervous system to register the change. Then release, allowing the body to return to a neutral stance while retaining a trace of the new alignment. This brief reset is not meant to be dramatic. Its power lies in repetition and awareness. Each time it is practiced, the body receives a clear signal: balance is possible, and effort is not required to achieve it. Over time, these small moments accumulate, gradually reshaping posture from the inside out rather than forcing it from the outside in. Although the movement itself lasts only a few seconds, the effects inside the body extend far beyond that brief moment. When alignment is restored, even temporarily, the nervous system responds immediately. Deep stabilizing muscles that are often dormant during prolonged sitting become active, providing support without excessive tension. This shift reduces the need for larger, superficial muscles to overcompensate, allowing the body to hold itself upright with less effort. At the joint level, subtle decompression occurs throughout the spine. Small changes in pressure encourage fluid exchange within the intervertebral discs, helping them rehydrate and maintain their shock-absorbing capacity. This process is essential for long-term spinal health. Yet it only happens when posture allows the spine to move between compression and release. Without these cycles, tissues gradually lose their resilience. Perhaps the most significant change occurs within the nervous system. Improved alignment sends calming signals through pathways associated with balance and stability, including those linked to the parasympathetic response. As the body senses that it is supported rather than strained, stress hormones begin to decrease. Breathing naturally deepens, heart rate variability improves, and the body shifts out of constant low-level alertness. Equally important is how the brain adapts. The nervous system is highly plastic, meaning it continuously updates its sense of what is normal. Each time the body experiences balanced alignment, the brain refines its internal map of posture. Over repeated exposures, this new reference point becomes easier to access. What once felt like effort starts to feel natural. In this way, posture changes are not imposed through willpower, but learned through consistent, gentle feedback that gradually rewires the body's automatic habits. Lasting change does not come from a single correction, but from repeated, low-effort reminders that guide the body back to balance. For this reason, a short, structured practice over the course of a week can be far more effective than occasional long sessions. The goal is not to force improvement, but to allow the nervous system to recognize alignment as the new baseline. Over the next 7 days, begin incorporating brief posture resets at regular intervals, ideally every hour or whenever you notice fatigue, tension, or mental fog. Each reset requires only a few seconds and a single calm breath. Rather than treating it as an exercise, approach it as a moment of recalibration, similar to adjusting the focus on a camera lens. During the first couple of days, most people notice subtle changes. The neck and shoulders feel less heavy, and standing or sitting upright requires less conscious effort. By the middle of the week, awareness improves. You may catch yourself correcting posture automatically without thinking about it. Tension that once felt permanent begins to soften, especially in areas that previously carried excessive load. Toward the end of the week, the effects become more integrated. Breathing feels fuller, movements more coordinated, and energy levels more stable throughout the day. Importantly, these changes do not come from pushing the body harder, but from reducing unnecessary strain. By revisiting alignment regularly, the body learns to sustain it on its own, transforming posture from a conscious task into an unconscious, supportive reflex. Posture is often treated as a minor detail, something to be corrected only when pain appears or appearance becomes a concern. In reality, it is a daily expression of how the body interacts with gravity, stress, and time itself. Every moment spent upright, collapsed, or balanced sends signals that shape the body's long-term trajectory. Over years, these signals accumulate, quietly influencing strength, mobility, energy, and resilience. What makes posture so powerful is not that it requires more effort, but that it requires more awareness. Small, intentional adjustments can interrupt patterns that have been reinforcing strain for decades. 5 seconds of realignment, repeated throughout the day, can gradually restore space, ease, and efficiency where tension once dominated. This is not about striving for a perfect stance, but about choosing support over collapse whenever the opportunity arises. Aging, in this sense, is not solely a matter of passing years. It is also a reflection of how the body has been held, supported, and allowed to move within the pull of gravity. By restoring alignment, the body is given a chance to function as it was designed to: adaptable, upright, and resilient. The invitation is simple: stand with awareness, breathe with ease, and allow the body to organize itself around balance. Over time, these small choices create a foundation for a life that feels lighter, more stable, and far less constrained by the limits many assume are inevitable.